Good evening, all of you. Another lovely episode of solo recital by me. And some of you know me and love me. And a very big thanks to Prasanna for doing this, inviting me to this solo recital show. And thank you, the Fertile Brains. I'm always so happy to be here. And for a poet, it's a wonderful thing when you can share your work, share your poems, read your poems to others and share it with others. So I think Prasanna has really, really made me very happy today, where I can read some of my poems to you all, and it is a lovely connect through my poems today. I have published 8 collection of my poems, and I have a storybook for children that was very, very, very many years ago. So you can say that I have written quite a few poems, and I not only write poetry, but I promote poems, promote poetry. I promote different kinds of poetry, peace poetry, multilingual poetry, and different kinds, and I'll come to it gradually. But I love calling myself an advocate of peace because I have organized numerous peace poetry events and written numerous peace poems. And I feel that poems is a dialogue which starts peace. So I want to share 2 peace poems with all of you, my listeners. The first poem is, like I said, of peace. It is called It Is All Here. Where do you seeketh God when God is in you and me? Where do you seeketh truth when truth is in you and me? Where do you seeketh life when life is in you and me? Where do you seeketh love when love is in you and me? You crave and shout for peace, fright and terror you unleash. You yearn and search for peace. You divide the world like a cake piece. Where do you seeketh light when light is in you and me? Where do you seeketh the balm for pain when the balm is in you and me? Where do you seeketh beauty when beauty is in you and me? Where do you seeketh peace when it is all here to see? Yes, I believe peace is within us. It starts from within. So peace is all here to see. I'll move on to my second poem. This poem is also about peace. And it's a very emotional poem, and I get emotional when I read this. This is called On the Screen of My Mind. Peace is like the cool breeze on a hot day. Peace is like the tune of a flute, wiping all sadness away. Peace is the first shower on the scorching earth. Peace is like a new life, a baby's birth. Excuse me. Peace is the chirping of birds in the morn. Peace is after darkness, the dawn. Peace is like after illness, the cure. Peace brings happiness for sure. Peace is the outstretched hand of a friend when in need. Peace is when your mind is confused and you get a lead. Peace is when you see a boat on a flooded road. Peace is sharing work to bring down the workload. Peace is the balm for excruciating pains. Peace is the settling down of dust and grime by rains. Peace are the memories on the screen of my mind, the love and care of my parents, which I will never again find. So here were 2 peace poems from my collection. My I will read another a very impactful peace poem, which has been very well accepted by all, from my book Paradigm. From my book Paradigm, if anyone wants a gift of this book, do write to me on my messenger, on my Facebook page, Paramita Mukherjee Mullick. So this was my third book, and this book is very special because the great poet Jayanta Mahapatra, I had gifted him this book. And he called me a few days ago and said, Paramita, I really loved your poems. And believe me, that meant so much to me. So here is a well loved poem from my book, Paradigm. It is a peace poem. It is called Cowards. Cowards. Many of you have heard this before, but I read it to you again. Cowards. Oh, gun-toting, bomb-blasting cowards. You can only kill humans. Can you kill their souls? Can you kill the love for them in others' hearts? Oh, gun-toting, bomb-blasting cowards. You can only destroy buildings and monuments. Can you wipe away the history surrounding them? Can you wipe away the labor to build them? Oh, gun-toting, bomb-blasting cowards, you can only demolish and plunder. Can you create a new life? Can you create a new history? Be brave for once. Nurture an innocent child. Be brave for once. Protect someone from harm. Be brave for once. Fall in love with the same madness as your anger. So this poem is very, very favorite. It's one of my favorites too. So these were three of my peace poems. And let's move on to the second genre of poetry which I write. I love nature, and I'm sure all poet friends of mine love nature. Nature nourishes you. Nature nurtures you. Nature makes you happy when you are depressed. Believe me, during the COVID times, nature helped me so much, to go through that lockdown situation, go through that imprisonment in the house. Excuse me. And like I felt, there were like I used to sit in my balcony for hours, look at the trees, look at the birds chirping, look at the parrots flying around, and parrots and crows flying around. Hours on end, I used to sit in that balcony of mine. And let me tell you, in nature, I have a fascination of the sea. And as all of you know, I live in Mumbai, and the sea is very near. I spend a lot of time near the sea, and I love the waves, the sound of the waves, and I love the breeze of the sea which comes from the sea, the sweet breeze, the sweet smell of the sea. So I'm fascinated by the sea. And I have written many, many poems about the sea. And again, two poems from my book, Paradigm, about the sea, of course. Waves. Oh, vast, huge, endless sea. Why do you have waves? Can you tell me? Oh, vast, blue, peaceful sea. Why do you have turbulence? Can you tell me? Oh, enormous, deep, fathomless sea. Why do you have turmoil? Can you tell me? Oh, the horizon touching sea. So much calm within. But why the churning on the surface we see? You are deep. You are endless. That's why the fear. You are fathomless. You are wonderful. So although so vast, yet so near. Such immense possibilities, such multifaceted creations. That's why you are so disturbed, yet so dear. So this was a poem about the sea. I move on to another poem, again about the sea. The white foams, the grey sea, the wild breeze, the tumultuous ocean, the sparkling fizz, the rush of waves towards the shore, like a monster of some folklore. The tall coconut trees waving in the wind, the huge waves breaking on the shore with a din. The bees, the butterflies, the birds that sing, the peace, the calm, giving my soul freedom's wing. The beauty of the seaside is more than a joyride. The swallows in a flock our joy and happiness unlocks. The tall coconut trees waving in the wind, the huge waves breaking on the shore with a din. The cottages, the hammocks, the stony lanes, the tall green grass swaying in the lushing rains. The beauty of the white foam wipes out the tension of work, erases the need to go home, gives us wings of happiness like a flying lark. This was way back in 2014. I had written in Goa, just beside the sea, when we were staying just beside the sea. So this was a poem about the sea. I will again talk about the sea when from another book of mine. This is the Maverick's Journey. This is the Maverick's Journey. This has a different kind of taste of the sea here. I had gone to the Gold Coast, Australia, and I saw a lot of seagulls near the sea. And I was just very happy, very, very, very thrilled to see so many seagulls together, you know. So I wrote this poem. It's a tiny little poem about seagulls. Seagulls. Oh, birds of the sea, circling round my head, how happy you make me. Oh, birds of the sea, being there from the time of the lone mariner till you met me. Oh, birds of the sea, fluttering with your grey wings past me. Oh, birds of the sea, white as the foam of the sea, as white as can be. Oh, birds of the sea, your shrill cries, roar of the waves, and tranquility. So here were my poems of the sea from my book, The Maverick's Journey. Maverick's Journey is on Amazon. And childhood for me is both a happy and sad emotion. Remembering childhood makes all of us nostalgic. Losing both my parents, there is an emptiness in my heart. And so, you know, childhood reminds me of my parents, for my lovely home and everything. So let me go through some childhood memories with you all from my book, The Maverick's Journey. One of my poems, again, The Chest of Drawers. It is, this poem has also been very well accepted, and I'm sure many of you have heard this poem before. One of my favorites as well, The Chest of Drawers. Rummaging in the chest of drawers, old photographs, old tidbits, forgotten diaries, forgotten books, faded papers from every nook. I forgot to tell you the introduction. In my home, in my parents' home, there is this old chest of drawers, you know, and it is full of memories for me. So the chest of drawers, yes. Rummaging in the chest of drawers, old envelopes, old ink pots, forgotten days, forgotten memories, faded paintings, pale sceneries. Rummaging in the chest of drawers, the lusterless Burma teak, the worn-out wooden form, filled with childhood memories, secure and warm. Rummaging in the chest of drawers, my childhood came alive, my playful days which went by so soon, before fully realizing the beauty of dawn, came the noon. So chest of drawers, and then I move on to another nostalgia-filled poem, The Lost Letters. Going through my old files, ruminating my past and thinking a while. Going through my old files, found some old letters all in a pile. Letters which have no meaning now, letters which have no surprise, no vow. But letters bringing back memories of days with no responsibilities, no worries. The bohemian days of the youth, the passionate arguments of what is the truth. The boisterous days of the youth, the debate of what is wrong and what is the truth. The lost letters of the past, the days which flew by so fast, letters which have no surprise, no vow, letters which are mirrors of memories now. So these two were my childhood poems, and a very sweet little poem again about my childhood, Marmalade. I just love to eat marmalade. So this poem is called Marmalade. I was having breakfast one day with peanut butter, bread and whey. I popped open the marmalade. It made the butter and jam fade. Oh marmalade, you made me in a flood of memories wade. My mother spreading butter on the toasted bread, the little floral napkins on the table laid. My sisters and brother round the table, listening to many stories and fable. My father passing the basket of fruit, the color-coordinated table mats of jute. I dreaming of the three bears having breakfast with me, thinking myself to be Goldilocks, the beautiful lass. Oh marmalade, in a flood of memories you made me wade. I thought about Paddington the bear, the lovely blue duffel coat and the red hat did he wear, putting his paws in the marmalade jar, listening to Mrs. Brown calling from afar. So many memories, so many dreams. Oh marmalade, you brought back past days, it seems. So when I talk about childhood, when I talk about my childhood, let's go to my daughter's childhood because it's a very happy memory for me. I enjoyed every moment of my daughter's childhood. She's an adult now on her way to college for studies. In fact, I compiled a whole collection of poems, totally nurturing her childhood days, a mother's feeling towards her child. So I compiled a book of poems called I Love You For, where my daughter herself has given a tagline here where it says, from cradles to college bags, verses from a mother's heart. So I Love You For, this is also on Amazon. Now I will read poems from here. I will read poems, one poem from here. Now, as you know, I'm a Bengali, and when she was a child, when my daughter was a child, I used to, read and recite a lot of Bengali rhymes for her. So this poem is titled Bengali Rhymes. The lullabies and the rhymes for my beautiful little princess, the lovely feeling of motherhood which cannot be expressed in dimes. The Bengali rhymes I would recite, defying science, putting horns on a creature laying eggs. Or when it rains, how the leaves shiver, then putting my baby to sleep, switching on the bedside light. My child's favorite rhyme was about the sun, She used to crawl and show me what to recite. I used to recite the sun crawling out from behind the mountains. She laughed and giggled with happiness and fun. The rhyme books, colorful and full of delight, kept in the bookshelf with care, speaks of my grown-up daughter's beautiful childhood, reminding her babbles and gurgles, her lovely childhood flight. So then I move on to another of my childhood poems. It's called The Terrace. In my home, in my home in Calcutta, there's a huge terrace in my home. And so here, the title of my poem is Terrace. My mind is traveling back to my childhood, the huge terrace in my house. So many years gone by, I think about it and sigh. Every evening we used to go there, the tree-surrounded terrace. So many different buildings all around, remembering the terrace and the memories fond. Afternoons were spent on the terrace on vacations, playing with bricks and stones. My neighborhood friends coming down every day, girlish giggles and enjoyment in every way. Different games and different times, running around blindfolded sometimes, smearing my mother's vermilion on stones and praying, wrapping a sari at times and role playing. So many festivals on the terrace we have celebrated, burning fireworks on dark nights of Diwali and smearing colors on each other in Holi. I remember my childhood enwrapped terrace fondly. So another poem for my child and all children, I Give You Wings. This is, I think, all mothers will be with me, all fathers will, all parents in fact will be with me in this poem. I give you wings. My dearest, I give you wings. Wings to fly and know the world. Wings to fly and seek knowledge. So that one day at your good deeds, the whole world sings. My dearest, I give you wings to fly to new horizons, wings to fly to new ideas, so that your name will spread to the sky. My dearest, I give you wings to fly around, wings to fly and search, wings to fly and discover, so that you can fill the world with joy and happiness abounds. My dearest, I give you wings like a white dove, wings to fly to every corner of the world, wings to know new cultures and rituals, so that to the whole world you can bring harmony and love. So this was about childhood. Now I'll move on. Poems are also for bringing equality. Poems are for stopping hatred. Poems are for talking about atrocities, about unkindness, against unkindness. It is about breaking barriers. Such impactful poems of mine now from my book, one of my poems from my book, The Golden Window. This is also on Amazon. It talks about my identity. The title is My Identity. Who was I when I was born? Was I a Telugu, a Tamil, or a Bengali? Where did I find solace when I was scorned? Who reached out? Who were those few? Were they Hindus, Muslims, Christians, or Jews? I'm searching for an identity. I'm searching for an affinity. Who was I when I was born? Was I a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, or a Sudra? Who were my friends whom I chose? Who were they who were close? Were they rich or poor? I'm searching for an identity. I'm searching for an affinity. The search was quite a call. All had the same emotions, the same blood. All looked the same, although having different names. I got my answer at last. I was born a human, and a human I will be. So here it talks about identity. I move on to another such poem from my book, Cloud 9, again on Amazon. And it talks about, again, a similar kind of feeling. Which city do you belong to? Which city do you belong to? They asked. I looked at them with emotions masked. They asked me my religion and caste. I looked away with eyes downcast. I belong to every city, and every city is mine. How can you bind me with a line? I belong to all religions, as all are beautiful and fine. How can you bind me with a line? Which race do you belong to? They asked. I reflected and didn't respond fast. Whether from the south, whether from the north, south, or the plateau vast, I looked up and answered at last. I belong to all regions, and all regions are mine. How can you bind me with a line? I belong to all races. Every race is unique and fine. How can you bind me with a line? Which country do you belong to? They asked. I gave a deep thought and looked at the sky vast. They looked at my skin with a glimpse fast. I belong to the world, and I am a human, I said at last. Yes, first and foremost, we are humans and we are all one. That's what I feel, and I know all poets feel so. Now let's move on to some soft and soothing poems. These two poems are from my book, The Sun Through My Wine Glass, again on Amazon. This was a lovely little poem where we had gone to Ibiza, a wonderful place, and we were at a sea resort in Spain. And it was early in the morning, very early in the morning, and I wrote this poem. A tiny bird sings. The enormous sea lies in front of me. The endless sky stretches till the horizon. The gigantic waves break on the shore, but I hear something more. The beauty of the early morning sky, the lit up houses on the other side, the swans flying all in a row, but there is some more wonder in the show. A tiny bird sings somewhere, its song so sweet and melodious. Between the enormous sea and endless sky, the beauty of the tiny bird's song will not die. Yes, that day was so beautiful. That early morning was so wonderful. The tiny bird hidden somewhere and singing. My next poem about these sweet little, soft little happenings in life. Everything for you and me. Again, you'll find the nature-loving poet here. Come out of your cocoon and see. The blue sky is there for you and me. The sun is coloring the sky in multi hues, the yellows, reds, and pinks mixing with the blues, the eagles circling with their wings afloat, the puffed up clouds gliding like a boat, the trees fluttering and waving their heads, the tiny butterflies playing on the soft grass bed, the crows taking sprigs for their nest, the majestic swans flying with the rest, the parrots screeching to their heart's content. So much happiness around you with no dent. So come out, my friend, into the blue, because everything in nature is for me and you. So one of my favorite poems, Everything for You and Me. Yes, nature is always there to make us happy. Nature is always there to make us glad and joyous. So now after this, another vacation poem. It's called Wetting My Feet. I'm sorry, it's again in the sun through my wine glass. Wetting my feet. The lovely brook in the midst of the village. I walked down the hill to its edge. The honey-colored cottages all around. The sweet breeze, the peace, and no sound. The rickety bridge on the brook. The flowers peeping out at its nook. The dandelion swaying in the wind. I walked down to the rind. What happened to me that day? Was it the bright sun's rays? I opened my shoes and wet my feet. I jumped with joy where the trees meet. I splashed water everywhere. I could challenge and take up any dare. The child in me awoke and played. I, my thrill and joy displayed. I didn't know wetting my feet was so much fun. My happiness knew no bounds, and I was in a run. So yes, it was such a happy thing that day when I was wetting my feet in a little brook, in a little stream. So I don't know how much time is left. Prasanna will tell me. So I move on to my poems on conservation and awareness about climate change. So as all of you know, I'm a scientist, a biologist. So I'll just, yes, 1 minute left. And so I will just talk about my conservation book, and I will say bye to all of you. This book is called Girls to Hisses and Their Homes. It is a book for children. It's in verses, and I'd written it with Katie Bagley, and it talks about awareness about climate change and awareness about conservation. So it was a lovely time with you all, with all my poems. And as a poet, I wish I had more time, but thank you so much, Prasanna, for giving me this wonderful time to read my poems and to exchange and share my poems with all of my wonderful viewers and wonderful listeners, all my family and friends and everybody out there who's listening to me. Have a very good evening, all of you, or a good day wherever you are around the world. Have a very, very happy time, all of you. Be happy, be safe, and be very, very, and be in poetry and love poems. Thank you so much.